A political marriage became her path into hell, a girl doomed to an eternity of death. When the gods ignored her prayers, she fought back with her fragile body, and now she will tear hell itself apart. After 200 years, a daughter was born to House Rain, Alicia Sirius Rain. But as an illegitimate child, she was just a fragile bird in a gilded cage. From her earliest days, her world was confined to the house, with only books for company. Even the open air was a luxury. Beneath the veil of a noble lady, she already saw her cruel fate. She was merely a pawn for a political marriage, a tool for her family's ambition. She lived only to be sold. In her 17th year, the dreaded contract arrived. The groom was Gregory, from the powerful House Barker. But this perfect political union shattered when Gregory was caught in an affair. His punishment was a duel. Though he survived, he was left a broken man. House Rain declared the engagement void, but the Barker family stubbornly refused. An 8-year legal battle stole Alicia's youth. By the time her family won, she was 25, far past a noble's marriageable age. But her father's cruel arrangements never failed to arrive. This time, her partner would be Archduke Rickard Tessin, the ruler of the western border, lord of the land of Golden Death. They also called him the Archduchess Killer, for his previous 6 wives had all met mysterious, untimely ends. Even Alicia, locked away from the world, knew the rumors. Marrying Rickard was a death sentence. Her hands clenched her skirt, a silent scream building inside. "I don't want to marry. I don't want to die." But the words died in her throat under her father's icy gaze. Her wishes never mattered. As rain poured down, her maid Daisy broke the silence, quietly brushing her hair. "My lady, don't marry him." She quickly covered her mouth in apology. Alicia only whispered, "It's fine. Leave me alone for a while." Rickard's preparations had been terrifyingly fast. Chests of betrothal gifts and marriage documents already filled her room, the gems screaming of his wealth. Just then, Alicia's eyes landed on an old pendant. She picked it up, discovering it was a pocket watch. The moment she opened it, darkness devoured everything. Space itself began to twist and shatter. Alicia fell into the void. When she awoke, only darkness greeted her as a drop of water hit her cheek. Her fingers touched something slick and strange. A question formed in her mind. What is this? Suddenly, a chilling sound echoed from behind. She turned stiffly and saw the most terrifying sight of her life. Year 350 of the Benedict calendar. Alicia's life descended into hell itself. With a dirt-streaked face, Alicia held her breath. The monster's snoring began. This was her only chance to escape. The day she fell into this hell, she died. Or rather, she should have. Before, a small wound took a week to heal. But now, even if torn to pieces, her body recovers in a day. Immortality should be a blessing, but for Alicia, it's the cruelest curse. In this endless torment, she is even denied death. At first, she begged the monsters to let her live, but death after death twisted her despair into rage. What did I do to deserve this? She tried to resist, but was repeatedly torn apart by the beasts. Alicia resolved to escape. Her fists tightened. Even if hope was a sliver, she refused to stay in this cycle of pain. She had to escape this horrifying hell. She ran frantically toward the light of the cave entrance. She used every ounce of strength, not daring to stop. A sliver of light pierced the darkness. She thought she could finally escape. The next second, cold claws viciously dragged her back into the abyss. She can't remember how many times she has died. The pain is numb now, a dull echo as she's devoured. She failed again, she thought with a bitter sneer. This time, she was practiced for the smaller monsters. They didn't kill her quickly. They tore her body bit by bit, making her feel every inch of her flesh being ripped away. In a daze, she remembered the marriage contract with Rickard Tessin, the Archduchess Killer. If he knew she was immortal now, would he beg her to marry him? After all, she's the perfect bride to end his murderous reputation. Intense pain ripped her back to reality. The monsters gnaw slowly, a torment she fears above all. In her agony, Alicia freezes. If she despises the pain, why not strike first? That stunningly simple truth dawns on her now, changing everything. The sharp bones on the ground become her swords. Monsters could die, but she was eternal. This battle's end was already written. She hunted the weakest first, one by one. She died, only to revive again and again. Each death fueled a swifter, deadlier strike, until the fiercest beast finally fell. Finding her hidden watch, she saw only 20 days had passed. To her, it felt like an eternity. How many times had she been reborn in pain? Her heartbroken roar echoed, "You monstrous bastards! You insatiable fiends! Do you know the agony of being torn apart?" As she raged, the monster's remains began to glow. A yellow crystal stone rolled free. She lifted it to her eyes, questioning, "What is this?" In the real world, a cufflink shone with the same light. The Rain family carriage had reached the Tessin territory. An attendant reports the young lady has vanished. A cruel, mocking smile touches Ricard's lips. Vanished. A boring little drama. But his eyes held a coldness that betrayed his indifferent tone. Frighteningly grave. Whether she fled or was taken, her only fate was death. But no one knew that in the depths of hell, a girl was descending like a Valkyrie, her spear aimed true. Its cold gleam was piercing. Year 358, Alicia had conquered hell. After slaying another beast, she bent to claim her prize. But a hidden creature watched from afar. The moment she found the stone, it lunged from the shadows, but its surprise attack failed utterly. Alicia flipped gracefully, landing a brutal knee to his head in a deadly motion. "How dare you touch what is mine?" The man was sent flying dozens of meters. She advanced, a predator stalking its prey. Panic filled him. "Please spare me." Alicia froze. This monster, it could speak. He knelt on the ground, frantically offering her all his magical stones. "Please, spare my life. I will never set foot here again." Her first real conversation in this nightmare. "Do you know where this place is?" "West Alex." And just like that, the hell she endured for 8 years was given a name. Her only knowledge came from books. Crimson skies, land shrouded in darkness, cracked black rocks. A world where the very air she breathed felt like fire. She tossed him the stone she'd just won. "What are these?" she asked, though they fueled her power. Consuming them made her stronger. "These are magical stones, filled with mana." He stared, shocked by her carelessness. "You just toss them away? Are they valuable?" "This is the largest I've ever seen. It must be close to the Lord tier." His eyes burned with greed for that power. "They're yours." Her words left him completely stunned. "What? I said they are yours." He couldn't believe his ears. "Really? Of course. But first, you must answer my questions." From him, she learned of the magic that flowed through this world. To gain greater power, she had to hunt not mere monsters, but intelligent demons. Beings who controlled magic and grew stronger by devouring their own kind. And the strongest of all were the 4 great demons. Her path now led to the nearest demon lord. As the castle gates opened, a voice boomed, "Seeker, welcome to West Alex Castle. I am the Western Lord, Alex." Before he could finish, Alicia's spear flew true. It pierced straight through his skull. Her gaze was ice. "I have no interest in your introduction." The demon became a massive magical stone, purer than any before, bringing a flicker of satisfaction to her heart. "So, which way is next? North or south?" She shattered the stone to absorb its power, but a cold dread filled her. It felt just like when she first fell. Wait, the energy isn't finished. When Alicia opened her eyes again, she was back in her own bedroom. Lifting her head, her world tilted. She rushed to the mirror, and seeing her younger face, she was too shocked to breathe. How could this be? "I'm younger?" The sharp pain in her ankle pulled her back to reality. When had she heard it? Not only had her youth returned, but the powers she'd bled for in hell were gone. It was as if time itself had rewound. But that power, all those magical stones she'd fought for, vanished. "My lady, it's Daisy. May I enter?" From Daisy, Alicia learned she was 17 again. A storm of emotions swirled inside her. Was this a blessing or a curse? Her frail body, overwhelmed by the shock, gave way as darkness claimed her vision. When she awoke again, a lady was seated beside her. Alicia whispered, her throat dry, "I'm thirsty." The Marchioness was by her side in an instant, her voice laced with worry. Alicia sipped the water slowly. "You haven't recovered. I heard you collapsed. I was so worried." "Still in a daze," Alicia murmured. thank you. Mother! That one word froze the Marchioness, for Alicia was not her true daughter. When she first learned her husband was bringing home a child born of infidelity, she had sought the girl out in a fury. Everyone expected a storm of rage, but instead she knelt down, her smile radiating warmth. "Hello, you must be Alicia. I'm your mother." But Alicia, poisoned by the maid's whispers, only saw a terrifying woman. "Remember, nothing here is yours." Those words echoed in her mind, so she hid, trembling behind a maid. Yet the Marchioness never faltered, her smile only growing softer. "Did I startle you? I'm sorry. I was just so happy." Even back then, Alicia had been drawn to this beautiful, gentle woman, but she never dared show it. Guilt crushed her, for her very life was proof of her father's betrayal. Only in the depths of hell did she curse her own cowardice. "Mother, may I have more water?" "Of course, my dear. I'll get it right away." "Is there anything else you need? I'll have it prepared for you." "You're so weak. Should I bring you some herbs?" Alicia's hand gently covered hers. "Mother, is my betrothed Gregory of the Barker family?" A flash of surprise crossed the Marchioness's face. "How did you know?" "To be honest, I truly despise that man." Alicia's mind raced. An agreement between nobles was sacred. But the official ceremony hadn't happened. There was still a chance. The Marchioness's voice was a soft promise. "I understand. Leave this to me. I dislike him as well. He reminds me of your father's youth, though they are nothing alike in looks or soul." The Marchioness then pulled her into a gentle embrace. "My sweet girl, trust your mother. I will never let you be forced into a loveless marriage." That evening, Alicia ran with purpose. She threw open her father's office door. "Release my mother. Now!" The Marquis paused. "Barging into my study without an announcement? Where are your manners? Go back to your room, Alicia." But this time, Alicia stood her ground. "Is that truly all you have to say, after imprisoning the lady of this house?" He lowered his voice, a clear warning. "Watch your tongue. Your mother is merely unwell and resting." Alicia scoffed, her tone dripping with mockery. "How absurd. She's confined because she dared to oppose my engagement. You're so afraid of the truth getting out. You'd even lock up your own wife." The Marquis roared. "Enough! Be silent!" But Alicia took a step forward, a cold glint in her eyes. What would people say if Marquis Rain's daughter smashed her fiancé's skull with a hammer at their engagement? Her words ignited his fury. "Are you threatening me?" His hand flew, striking her across the face. She stumbled, but a chilling smile played on her lips. "A threat? Oh, I want to do it this very second. I'm barely holding back." The Marquis stared, a sudden chill creeping up his spine. Her eyes. They weren't the eyes of a sheltered, noble girl, but of a warrior who had stared death in the face countless times. From the moment she burst in, he knew something was terribly wrong. His once timid, obedient daughter now dared to confront him, her gaze burning with an intensity he'd never seen. He tried to dismiss it as a mere teenage rebellion. How could the girl who once trembled before him change so drastically overnight? Finally, he spoke coldly. "Go to your room and reflect on your actions. For your first offense, you will not be punished." "And so what?" Alicia's indifferent tone shocked Harry, her second brother, who had just walked in. "You're forbidden from the main building." "Aren't you scared?" "Scared of what?" "Not having to see that man's face is a relief." She then changed the topic. "What of Mother? She can move about now, but the south wing remains forbidden. Mother longed to see you, but our brother wisely dissuaded her. He dreaded another argument between our parents." A thoughtful look crossed Alicia's face. "Brother Felix bears his own burdens. Now you've seen my truth. You can report back to Mother. That's why you are here, isn't it?" "No, Alicia. I came because I was worried for you." She froze. "Are we truly that close?" Her words struck him like a blow. He forced a smile. "You might not see it, but I deeply care for my only sister." A strange warmth bloomed inside Alicia. He genuinely cares for her. And the feeling was surprisingly wonderful. She'd always feared her brothers would despise her for her birth. A small smile touched her lips. "It's truly good to be back." Harry informed her the marriage was nearly set, pending only royal approval and the official word. He asked if she truly loathed this marriage so much, but Alicia gave no answer. Instead, she spoke of the past. Do you remember my societal debut? I fell in the ballroom, becoming the joke of the entire evening. In truth, no one cared for me. I just needed to rise. But someone led the chorus of mockery. That person was Gregory. My first step into society was utterly ruined. Hearing this, Harry's smile instantly vanished. If I were to kill him this very moment, would you feel better? No need. I stopped caring long ago. But thank you. Her calm acceptance only deepened Harry's murderous urge toward Gregory. Since I cannot kill him, what of a duel? I could at least shatter one of his legs. At that moment, Alicia revealed a letter. Harry was bewildered. What's this? Please deliver this to Archduke Tessin. His eyes widened in shock. What are you planning? She offered a mysterious smile. Deliver it to him in secret. You will help me, won't you? Days later, within the Tessin territory, Ricard received a peculiar letter. His engagement was a state secret, yet the letter warned him his intended bride was frail and in peril. A leak from the Archduke's residence was simply impossible. The imperial family hadn't announced it. So, where on earth did this information come from? Ricard eyed the letter, his voice deep. Henrik, remain here. Roderick, you will accompany me out of the territory. Roderick was aghast. Your Grace, you intend to meet this person called Sirius? Ricard tapped the address. They specified a location. They want a meeting, don't they? Keep our escort to a minimum. Roderick tried to protest, but Ricard's command to depart was final. After they left, Ricard gazed at the elegant seal, whispering, Sirius, who are you, really? Far away, Alicia gazed from her window. The letter should have arrived by now, shouldn't it? She must move before her past life's tragedies recur and set destiny's path straight again. A few days later, Alicia rode in a carriage from her mother, but as they neared the meeting place, the carriage jolted violently. With the harsh bumps, a severe headache suddenly pierced through her. She never felt this in hell. Am I so weak now? Then, she sensed an approach. Daisy peered outside, alert. I will go and check. Alicia moved to stop her, but something suddenly flew through the air. Daisy collapsed. Alicia rushed to her side, relieved to find her still breathing. She then spotted a poison needle in Daisy's neck. It smelled of cinnamon and cypress. Only one poison had such a scent. It shouldn't be here, she whispered. At that moment, the carriage door was suddenly ripped open. A knight stepped inside, telling Alicia, She is only asleep. Her life isn't in danger. Please do not worry. As the knight lifted Daisy, the first man spoke. Please step out of the carriage, Lady Alicia. Or perhaps I should call you Sirius? His hair was like molten gold. His skin, snow white. His eyes, clear crystal. He truly lacked any royal features. Yet he didn't seem as fierce as the rumors claimed. As Alicia assessed him, Ricard was studying her, noting how frail and timid she appeared. He struggled to believe this was the woman who sent him that letter. Breaking the silence, he spoke first. I was told you have a heart condition, Lady Alicia. A smile graced her lips. As expected, he had her investigated. Her delicate health would never survive the trip to Tessin territory, a secret known only to her immediate family. Ricard offered his hand to help her down, but she simply lifted her skirt and jumped down alone. The meeting place in the letter is not here. It's a bit further on. Feeling ignored, Ricard's hand clenched into a fist. Model. They said the Lady of House Rain was timid, yet the woman before him shattered every rumor. He moved past her, asking why she chose this place. To confirm something vital, the Dolores Stone Circle, a sundial where day means life and night means death. After dawn, unholy beings are barred from entry. Your Grace, have you been here before? It's my first time. And you? Alicia hesitated. Me, too. Ricard strode towards the circle. Noticing she didn't follow, he paused. Are you not coming in? When she told him to go first, a flicker of suspicion crossed his eyes. What game was she playing? Was this some kind of trap? No. Alicia's hesitation stemmed from a deeper fear, that she couldn't enter at all. As Ricard stepped inside without a second thought, her voice held a touch of sorrow. Your Grace, you are human. Are you not afraid? Legend says if you cannot enter, you are not human. To Ricard, her words felt like a veiled accusation. He assumed she believed the whispers that branded him a monster. What is there to fear? they are merely stones. But ever since she returned from that hell, Alicia had one burning question. If hell is real, then after falling into its depths and clawing her way back, was she still human? Or had she become a monster? Taking a breath, she stepped into the circle. A wave of relief washed over her. A brilliant smile bloomed. It seems I'm human, after all. Ricard found her truly perplexing. Thanks to you, a question that has long troubled me is finally answered. Alicia suddenly felt the space between them shrink. She hastily stepped back. I should introduce myself properly. I am the one who sent the letter, Alicia Sirius Rain. I know, you're the daughter of Maris Rain. That simplifies things. Then, she stunned him by kneeling on one knee. Archduke Ricard Tessin, please, marry me. Her gaze was earnest, filled with hope, but Ricard felt as though he'd been played for a fool. You're not just strange. You're completely mad. But Alicia's calm never wavered. You may have questions, but I promise you will not regret this. Ricard cut her off. You think I came for this nonsense? What a waste of my time. Wait, you haven't heard my terms. Aren't you curious how I knew of the imperial marriage? But Ricard refused to look back. Not in the least. Just then, he froze, his face contorting in agony. The curse. It wasn't time for it to strike. Was it because he was too far from his lands? A storm of pain and noise crashed into his mind. He had to return, now. Your Grace, what's wrong? Alicia reached for him, but he shoved her away. Don't touch me, he gasped, forcing the words through clenched teeth. I'm fine. His rejection sparked her temper. She stepped forward, seizing his hand. I'm just helping you to the carriage. The moment their skin met, Ricard's world went utterly silent. The torment in his head vanished completely. Seeing him frozen, Alicia thought he was furious at her touch. With that thought, she began to pull her hand away. But Ricard's grip tightened like a vice, pulling her close. Don't let go. Alicia was speechless as they sat, inexplicably holding hands. She was bewildered. Must we speak like this? Ricard's expression was a mix of dark and mortified. Yes, this is the condition for our talk. The words sounded humiliating even to himself. He covered his face. So, what is it that you want? A sly smile touched Alicia's lips. Please, marry me. Agree, and I will predict the future for you 4 times a year. But Tessin was unconvinced she could see what was to come. Facing his doubt, she simply smiled. My letter brought you here, did it not? Everything in it was true. He couldn't deny it. Ricard had already guessed her motive. Who must I eliminate for you? Gregory? Of the Barker family? Tessin fell into a thoughtful silence. Cutting ties with House Barker would be costly. But this woman held the key to his curse. For him, this deal was a clear victory. He agreed at once. We cannot marry immediately, but we can have an engagement. Severing ties with Barker is all I need. I will treat you as befits the future Archduchess. Is there anything else you require? Alicia considered it. Nothing. I trust your preparations, but I am very greedy. I will keep that in mind. Now that we're finished, may I have my hand back? Ricard released her. Her planned success made Alicia's spirits soar. Then, I look forward to our venture, Your Grace. Ricard met her gaze. As do I. Shortly after, news of their engagement swept like wildfire across the entire empire. They say Archduke Tessin lost his heart instantly to that mysterious northern lady. He even gifted her Lil Villa, his grandest castle, and the vital Echevarria territory. But the heroine of these tales is training. Without magic stones, her power returns agonizingly slow. Suddenly, a voice calls from behind. Alicia, is this true? Harry bursts in, holding a newspaper. The headline blazed across the page. Lady Alicia, to become Countess of Echevarria. She never imagined the news would travel so fast, or that Ricard would act with such speed. He'd made such a grand gesture. Yet, why did the papers only mention his name? Because no one in high society knows you yet. Wait, what have you been up to these past few days? Just then, a servant appeared with a magnificent steed. My lady, your horse is ready. A spark lit up her eyes, prompting Harry's question. You've never learned how to ride, have you? She didn't answer, simply moving to the horse and mounting with fluid grace. Of course I have, she thought. Even if it was in hell, Harry felt his little sister was becoming more of an enigma. Then, Alicia turned to face him. "It looks like you're needed." The words had barely left her lips when a servant rushed over, urging Harry to return. He glanced at Alicia, lowering his voice to a whisper. "I can't explain it here. Please, go back now. It had to be important." "Ah, sorry, Alicia. It seems I must go. I'll be back soon. Try not to cause any trouble." She simply waved him off with a smile. Once Harry was gone, she pulled the reins sharply. She took a deep, centering breath. When she first returned, this body felt alien. She'd nearly leaped from a window, saved only by her maids. She remembers how to fight. The experience was carved into her very soul, but her body had limits. Still, her condition was good. She vaulted through the trees, her movements as swift and weightless as a phantom. Since escaping that hell, her one desire was to regain the magical stones. Her own strength was not enough. Mere training could never replace their power. At that moment, a shadow fell over her. It was Ricard. Is this how the Rain family trains? Alicia scrambled to her feet, startled. "Why are you here?" Ricard offered her his hand. "I've come for the title ceremony." The moment their fingers touched, she froze, her eyes locked on a yellow gem on his cufflink. When he asked what she'd been doing, she pulled away. "Nothing. Just some light exercise." Ricard's hand hung awkwardly. A hint of disbelief colored his tone. "So, training that bests my knights is just casual. Practice to you? Stop. Can we drop this topic?" Ricard sighed, giving in. "All right. But first, you have leaves in your hair." "Here?" He sighed softly. "Forgive my rudeness." Then he gently reached out to help her. "There, that's better." But then, Alicia leaned in close. Startled, he stumbled backward, missing the steps. He fell, and she landed right in his arms. She whispered, "I thought my eyes were deceiving me." Her grip on his hand tightened. Ricard was completely flustered. "Lady Alicia, please release me." But as she let go, her hand shot out, grabbing his wrist. "Your Grace, may I have this cufflink?" She hadn't been mistaken. It was a magic stone embedded right there. Hearing this, Ricard composed himself. "I'm sorry. This is a family heirloom. I can't give it to you." Alicia's eyebrow arched skeptically. She was moments from simply taking it by force when Ricard spoke again. "Could you please get up first?" He averted his gaze, a shy blush creeping up to his ears. Alicia sprang back as if burned, apologizing profusely. Ricard simply straightened his disheveled clothes. "It's fine, and while I can't give you this one, there are similar gems in the territory. I will find them and present them to you as a gift." Other magical stones? Her plans of theft vanished. "Then I shall give you a gift in return. There will be no snow this winter, but from late March to early April, a devastating blizzard will come." At her words, Ricard froze. Is that true? His mind raced. A blizzard in March during early spring? If snow falls, many in the territory will freeze. "We have to prepare." Alicia smiled gently. "Consider it a gift, not one of your predictions." Her words were absurd, yet her gaze held an absolute truth. He knew, somehow, it would all come to pass. He thanked her, his voice low. "And I haven't even offered you the gems. Thanks to you, we can prevent a disaster." Soon, they had returned to the residence. The entrance was already bustling. Rodri stepped forward. "Your Grace, it has been prepared." Ricard offered a slight bow. "Lady Alicia, I have something for you." But at that moment, the Rain family's butler cut in. "Your Grace, Lord Felix is waiting in the main building." Alicia quietly asked if he came to her first. Ricard's eyes were only on her. He had no intention of meeting anyone else. His sharp gaze swept over them. "Everyone, leave now." As Daisy left, Alicia signaled for her to take the horse. Then, a low voice spoke from behind. "They are gone. Finally, it is my turn." Ricard spoke, opening the box to reveal a breathtaking set of jewels. The ruby jewelry of Duchess Marguerite. "Wait, these, are they for me?" He explained that the Duchess's rubies have always been paired with the Countess of Echavaria, so for important formal events, you may wear them. Alicia did not stand on ceremony. "I will use them well." Her earnest reply made him smile, but his expression quickly turned serious. "What do you know about the imperial family?" Alicia, it turned out, knew quite a lot. The late emperor had 5 princes and 1 princess. The second prince died in an accident 7 years ago. The third is Duke Lennox, and the fourth is Count Esna. The 5th prince is Archduke Tessin, and Princess Louise is his full-blood sister. So, you know the basics. Don't judge me by my appearance. I love reading. Soon royal tutors will arrive to teach you more. However, Lady Alicia, your unique hobby is a secret we must keep. Alicia agreed without question. Their business concluded, it was time to part. Then, I will see you at the title ceremony. I will send word about the dress color. Then Ricard leaned in, his lips nearly brushing her cheek. He whispered something only she could hear. Alicia went still. Truly? Yes. I saw it myself. With that, he mounted his horse. I hope that helps you. He came like a storm and left like the wind. His arrival was startling, yet he was so much better than the rumors claimed. Just then, the servants rushed back, chattering excitedly. My lady, when did you get so close with the Archduke? How did you meet? They were silent before, but now. Alicia's voice roared, except for Daisy. Everyone, go back, she urged Daisy to pack. They were leaving for Echevarria thanks to Ricard's news. Maurice Rain could not return yet. He'd angered the emperor by protesting the broken engagement. He was under house arrest. This was Alicia's chance to finally escape and be free. When a furious Maurice Rain stormed home, ready to confront Alicia, he only learned she was already gone. In stark contrast to his rage, the Marchioness radiated pure joy. Alicia? She went to Echevarria. The Marquis, confused after days of confinement, demanded answers from his wife. The Marchioness responded with perfect calm. That child left a letter. She wanted to see her new territory. Is that proper? Why didn't you stop her? His words stunned her. A cold smile touched her lips. I am forbidden from the South Wing. How could I have stopped her? He finally noticed the strange, defiant light in her eyes. Marina, you did this on purpose, didn't you? Over that? She only replied with the facts. In 17 years, that child has never asked for anything. This was the first time. You should stop as well. Do not treat our children as tools. He shot to his feet. Enough! This conversation is over. As a Rain, she has a duty to this family. I will send someone to bring her back. After she returns, you may enter the South Wing again. As he left, the Marchioness watched him go. She finally let out a breath. She had bought Alicia a little more time, but where she was now, she could only pray. No one knew that Alicia, meant to be in her territory, was moving through the capital's heart. Ricard had arranged a royal tutor and a lavish residence for her. Daisy was utterly bewildered. My lady, I thought we were leaving for Echevarria? A knowing smile touched Alicia's lips. The title ceremony is close. How could I ever truly leave? Come, Daisy, let's go shopping. Her journey was nothing but a clever feint. Drawing upon the memories of her past life, Alicia sought out a hidden gem, a genius perfumer named Katrina, whose fame had yet to blossom. After a charming meeting, Alicia secured a perfume and an alliance, hiring Katrina for her future endeavors. This was a crucial investment for Alicia, but her true goal lay much deeper. After her shopping spree, she arrived at a humble shoe shop. A middle-aged man greeted her. What do you need? Alicia's reply was coded. I'm here for an embroidery order. Judith, a customer is here. A secret workshop was hidden on the 2nd floor. With light steps, a silver-haired girl appeared. If you wish to see the embroidery, please come up. Judith apologized, tidying threads on her table. The room is a little messy. I'll clean it now. But Alicia's gentle voice reassured her. It's quite all right. This place is lovely. Forgive me. My name is Judith Perlman. My education was lacking, so I hope my greeting isn't rude. Alicia gracefully introduced herself in return. I heard of your incredible skill, so I'd like to place a large order with you. As she spoke, she signaled Daisy to reveal the designs. Can this be done? For Judith, the patterns were no challenge. She was about to agree, when her eyes froze on the 2nd page. At that moment, Alicia quietly sent Daisy away. The moment the door closed, Judith's hands clenched the pages tightly. Her gaze turned sharp, filled with a chilling intent to kill. But Alicia was fearless. Don't worry, only I know. I made sure we weren't followed. Before she could finish, Judith lunged with a pair of scissors. Who are you? But Alicia's reaction was flawless. Her fan struck a vital point on Judith's wrist. The scissors clattered to the floor. Me? I'm the most talked-about person in the capital. Judith's arm went numb from the precise strike. Alicia's voice was sincere. I hold no ill will. I simply wish to befriend you and the Croa clan. 8 years ago, the Croa clan was annihilated. Mysterious fires raged near the capital, and Judith was the lone survivor. For all these years, she has remained hidden away in this tiny workshop. But this noble lady had just ripped open all her old scars. Shut your mouth. Judith snatched a blade, pointing it at Alicia's heart. Leave now. The Croa clan is gone. Alicia merely tilted her head. Her tone was calm, yet her words cut like steel. If you continue to hide, it will truly vanish from this world. What could you possibly know? Judith's fury erupted. But Alicia's next words stopped her heart cold. I know who betrayed the Croa. Judith, I can give you your revenge. Judith's voice trembled. Why? As I said, I want to be your friend, an ally who can help you. The Croa clan had 6 public leaders, but a 7th hidden faction existed in the shadows. They are the ones who betrayed your people. Judith was stunned. Is that true? If you doubt me, go and see for yourself. But you must hurry. If you delay any longer, you will die too. Judith's heart pounded in her chest. Have I been discovered? Alicia didn't answer, leaving a cryptic message instead. I hope you can finish my order before the spring arrives. Later, while studying etiquette, Alicia received a royal invitation for the ceremony. Meanwhile, at the palace, the border crisis was worsening. Ricard urged the emperor to send more troops west. Inevitably, the conversation shifted to his marriage. The ministers were debating the ceremony seating. Even the emperor and empress had fought over the matter for 5 long days. With no information on the countess, everyone had been pestering the empress about her, which led her to confront the emperor. Ricard, this is all your fault. You suddenly declared an engagement and insisted on this title. Speaking of which, how is that countess of yours? Ricard corrected her. She is not yet a countess. I've already granted the title. What's the difference? Ricard may have requested this, but it was the emperor who sealed their fate. He gave Maris Rain no choice, finalizing the wedding date himself. If her age is your concern, we can wait 2 years until she's 19. That is surely enough time for their feelings to deepen. A perfect solution, no? Yet, why do you seem so troubled? Are you unhappy to join the royal family? A chill shot through Maris, as if he'd fallen into an icy abyss. He quickly insisted it was the highest honor. Still, the emperor found a reason to keep him. His mood soured that Ricard had given away a Cavaria. But Ricard remained perfectly cool. I had to show some sincerity, didn't I? Besides, she is the only one I would ever trust with a Cavaria. After declaring this, he rose to leave. Instead of this, you should handle the rumors in the capital. Now they claim I kidnapped Alicia with an axe. Why is your reputation so awful? It's bizarre. I specifically ordered a legendary romance for the ages. Ricard simply gave him a speechless look. A strange guilt pricked at the emperor. Just as Ricard was about to depart, his brother stopped him. Ricard, when winter passes, it will rise once more. You must be cautious. After a beat, Ricard replied, I will remember. After he left, the emperor sighed into the empty hall. My dear brother, what am I to do? Butler Henrik was waiting outside. Your Grace, how did your talk go? I secured the reinforcements. And what of Lady Alicia? I wonder if she might visit Tessin this winter. I pray we make a fine impression, Rayard cut in. She is 17, but no ordinary girl. She is the one who wrote and proposed to you, and she turns 18 after summer. The perfect age for marriage. As His Majesty said. Ricard's footsteps halted. Annoyance flickered in his eyes. Are you spying for the Emperor? But the butler was undeterred, pressing on about the marriage. Your Grace, you are right. To always be vigilant. But His Majesty has long wished for your wedding. Even your niece Josephine is married. You cannot be single forever. That's enough, Henrik. I will not marry Alicia. The words had barely left his lips when a familiar voice called out. Your Grace. Ricard spun around to see Alicia standing there. Sunlight graced her face as she smiled brightly. Your Grace. It has been a while. He was utterly caught. Guilt crashed over him. Did she hear? But Alicia only tilted her head, her clear eyes filled with curiosity. "Your Grace?" Only then did Ricard let out a quiet breath. "It is nothing. I was just surprised to see you here." "What brings you here?" Alicia's tone was light. "His Majesty summoned me regarding the title." Ricard knew his brother's ways. He would surely pressure Alicia into an early marriage contract, so he swiftly changed the subject. "Do you remember that cufflink? I promised to find a matching one for you. I have one at my residence here in the capital. Would you like to see it now? I will speak to His Majesty for you." Alicia's eyes instantly lit up, and her answer was immediate. "I would love to." Inside the residence, Ricard began. "Tessen's craftsmen rarely make jewelry. I heard they were delighted to receive this commission." But Alicia's gaze was already stolen by the gem, its brilliant light reflected in her eyes. She never imagined such enormous magical stones could exist. Ricard's question, "Do you like it?" snapped her back. "I love it. It is absolutely beautiful." She fought the urge to consume it, but Ricard's next words shocked her again. It turned out Tessen had a diamond mine, and these gems were from his very own lands. "They call it the Land of Death, but it's as beautiful as heaven." Alicia seized the moment. "Can I go see it?" Just then, a maid brought refreshments. Ricard sipped his tea, his tone shifting. "After the title ceremony ends, I must return to Tessen immediately. We will not have much time to speak then." Alicia knew he rarely left his territory. Leaving so suddenly seemed far too hasty. "When will you visit the capital again?" "Likely after next spring. We can correspond by letter if needed." Having found the source of the magic stones, Alicia took her chance, asking if she could go to Tessen with him. "Echevarria in the south is more suitable for winter. You should go there to acclimate first." Alicia fumed silently. He might as well have just said no. She wanted to argue, but then reconsidered. There would be other opportunities. She didn't need to rush. "I see." As they parted, she recalled something. "Your Grace, I have chosen the color for my gown." A slight nod from Ricard is his only reply. "I shall take it into consideration," he thinks, a faint smile touching his lips, knowing His Grace prefers to remain unseen. "You cannot be dressed so casually this time." On the day of the ceremony, Ricard gently asks Alicia if she recalls the procedure. After entering, "Just walk toward the center of the hall. There is no need to be nervous, for you are today's star." As he finishes, the grand palace doors part. Announcements and a flurry of whispers surge in like a wave. "Is that Lady Alicia?" It's hard to believe such a beauty is engaged to a demon who wields a battle axe. Wait, isn't she wearing Marguerite's rubies? I heard Archduke Tessen kidnapped her after falling for her at first sight. It seems the rumors are true. Alicia ignores their venomous whispers, her steps steady as she walks toward the front. After the formal greeting, the Emperor smiles, beckoning her closer as he proclaims her the new Countess of Echevarria, to which Alicia responds with perfect, respectful grace. The Emperor's joy spills into his words. "Today is a double blessing. Not only a new countess, but my youngest brother has finally found his partner. Alicia, welcome to the royal family. I have also prepared a gift for you." As the box opens, Ricard's brow furrows instantly. Lying inside is a bridal veil, one used only for the highest imperial occasions. It appears his eldest brother is determined to bind Alicia to the imperial family. The surrounding gossip erupts once more. At that moment, the Empress suddenly speaks. "Archduke Tessen, I was told you must return to your territory immediately after this?" "Yes, Your Highness. The border cannot be left unguarded. I must return at once. To be parted right after an engagement is truly heartbreaking." Then, the Empress's tone shifts, becoming sharp. "Why not invite your fiancé to Tessen with you?" And so, Alicia embarks on the journey to Tessen. Upon reaching the border, knights from the territory arrive to escort them. Alicia makes a simple request. She wishes to ride her own horse. At first, the knights dismiss it. Everyone knows the Rain family waited 200 years for this cherished daughter. In their minds, this pampered lady had likely never held anything heavier than a spoon, let alone a horse's reins. But in a single heartbeat, their entire perception of her is utterly shattered. She spurs her horse, charging ahead in an instant. The knights can't even keep up with her flowing ponytail, much less guard her. Suddenly, the lead knight's expression turns grave. He yanks his reins, roaring at a nearby knight. "Find His Grace immediately. Tell him Lady Alicia has entered the forest alone." He takes another knight and plunges into the forest's depths. Soon, they spot Alicia in a clearing. Lady Alicia, this forest is forbidden. But she seems deaf to his words, staring motionlessly ahead. All at once, a roar tears through the air. The horses panic, rearing wildly. The knights draw their swords, shielding Alicia behind them. Magical beasts, the Kakan. They have the form of wolves, but their bodies are as hard as rock. Damn it! The knight's face darkens. Protect Lady Alicia! We must hold on until his grace arrives. As he speaks, the two knights charge. The clash of blades against the creature's stony hides explodes through the forest. Just as one knight's spear pries open a beast's defense, the creature cunningly retreats. The other two Kakan instantly surround them. Outnumbered, his spear is knocked violently away, clanging at Alicia's feet. She bends down to retrieve it. It's well maintained. Do you mind if I borrow it? At that moment, the beast behind her opens its massive jaws. The knight screams in terror, "Dodge!" But in the next second, Alicia is gone. She flips backward, her body tracing a perfect arc in the air. She lands firmly upon the beast's fang-filled mouth, tapping its body lightly with the spear. Their skin is too hard. Blind attacks will only ruin your weapons. Attack their weak points, like their eyes and mouths. As her words fall, the spear in her hand thrusts fiercely into the beast's mouth with a sickening crack. Alicia lands softly. See? You can easily deal with them. The knights are shocked into silence. The delicate girl they thought needed protection just killed a magical beast with a single fluid motion. As if sensing a powerful foe, all the Kakan redirect their attack to surround Alicia. The two knights regroup, but Alicia shows no fear, only a spark of excitement. Now that she knows their weakness, the situation reverses. She fights with grace while glancing back at the stunned knights. Ricard's knights were truly exceptional. Their skill meant the battle would soon be over. But in that instant, her spear shatters. Alicia freezes, completely stunned by the sudden turn. A figure on horseback charges forward. With immense power, his massive axe takes flight, a streak of cold light. The beast is cleaved in two. Her eyes widen in disbelief. It was Ricard. He rushes to her side, his voice thick with panic. "Are you hurt?" Her gaze meets his worried face, blankly. An old memory surfaced. Of those endless nights in that hell. She'd prayed for a savior in the dark, but no one came. She learned to fight alone, no longer needing rescue. This long-awaited salvation had arrived too late. A faint smile graced her lips. "I'm fine." She gestures to the fallen beast. "Have these creatures been seen here before?" Seeing she was unhurt, Ricard finally let out a relieved breath. "Thank goodness you're not injured. The forest can wait." He called for Roderick and Olivier. "Can the Knights of Tessin not even guard one person?" Roderick braced himself for a severe punishment. But Ricard's tone softened. "I'll overlook it this once, but not a word of this to anyone." This time, Ricard didn't leave her side. He personally escorted her the rest of the way. However, upon their arrival, Alicia was sent to the Lily Villa. As an unmarried countess, it was her proper residence. From that day forward, a month of silence passed. She never saw him. Ricard was drowning in official duties. Today, Baron Greitz was among his guests. A man in the background suddenly broke away and darted down another path. "I heard she's just a naive northern girl. Just as planned, security is a joke. Once I'm inside, it'll be simple." "What is this?" the man answered without thinking. "A gift to brand this castle's master a heretic." The words left his lips before he realized his mistake. A sharp blow to the neck, and his world went black. Alicia picked up the fallen object, her brow furrowing. Far too many unwelcome guests today. As night fell, a door creaked open. A shadowy figure slipped inside. The masked man unsheathed a dagger. At the glint of steel, Alicia's eyes flew open. The blade was sent flying. "Do you have any idea how many of you I've dealt with tonight?" Her voice was laced with boredom. "If you must try, at least let me get some sleep." The assassin froze, then a smirk spread across his face. "So that's why the others never returned. The future Archduchess is quite the monster. But this time, I came prepared. You won't survive this night." Before he could finish, another figure struck him down. A familiar voice echoed. "I hope I wasn't too late. It's been a while, Lady Alicia. Your task is complete." Seeing Judith, Alicia's face lit up. "I knew I could count on you. You've done perfectly," Judith replied with a cheerful smile. "I'm glad to hear it." Her gaze fell on the downed assassin. "Shall I take care of this trash for you?" The captive assassin sneered defiantly. "Do you know how many more of us there are?" Judith's expression turned to ice. "Silence him." A swift elbow strike cut him off. "Who is your client?" The man's lips remained sealed. "Do your worst." "I will never betray my client." Judith cut him off, revealing his master's name. Baron Grez, who schemed to make his own daughter the Archduchess. Since his pathetic frame-up failed, he's turned to assassination. "Did you truly think the Crowa would accept this mission?" "That's wonderful, Judith. It seems you are now the master of the Crowa." Hearing this, the assassin's eyes widened in utter shock. He couldn't believe this young woman was the Crowa's new leader. Alicia rose and approached the captive. "Now then, uninvited guest. Let's settle this." The following day, at the Tessin residence, Ricard asked, "Did you kill him?" Alicia calmly set down her tea. "Not yet." "Good. I'll send my men to deal with it. If you wish to kill him, fine. But my people will handle the cleanup to prevent any leaks." Alicia noted the sudden change in his tone. She guessed he'd heard about the magical beasts from his knights. Still, a faint displeasure bloomed in her heart. "Is that all you have to say to me?" But his voice was devoid of emotion. "This title ceremony is attracting more trouble than expected. This will likely happen again. You should use this chance to reinforce security at the Lily Villa." It dawns on Alicia that for Ricard, these attacks are just a part of his life. Though the Emperor feigns concern, Ricard's life is a gilded cage of surveillance. She let out a soft sigh. "I have remained silent thus far for your sake, Your Grace, but it seems my silence has made some people bold enough to disrespect me." She taps the table once. With a deafening crack, the entire thing shatters. "From this moment, I will act as I see fit." Though the world calls him a demon, Ricard has been trapped in Tessin since he was 14. When the second moon rises, his torment begins. A searing heat courses through him, yet his body turns to ice. His mind feels as if it's being pierced by 1,000 needles. The sheer agony sends his body into violent convulsions. Henrik shouts in worry from behind the door, but Ricard can only roar for him to leave. He desperately tries to push himself up. Pain blurs his vision. On the very edge of sanity, he grabs a dagger and plunges it into his arm. Blood flows freely, but as he rips the blade out, the wound instantly seals itself. Inflicting pain upon himself is the only way Ricard stays sane. Otherwise, the storm of rage in his heart would compel him to destroy every living thing. He stumbles towards his bedroom. This is the curse of the Archduke of Tessin. There is no escape, no cure. The pain is a shadow that will follow him to his grave. He wonders if killing the former emperor would have brought him any peace. 10 more days of this hell. The thought alone is enough to drive him mad. "Maybe I should just kill them all," he mutters through gritted teeth. But what little sanity remains screams that he cannot. So every year, he locks himself away, allowing no one to approach. The torturous time crawls by in a haze of pain and struggle. Alicia finds herself living in Tessin Castle, her first day here. The assassins had changed their tactics, setting fire to her villa. She has no choice but to stay here until it's repaired. She'd hoped to hunt magical beasts, but Ricard forbade it, saying Tessin was too dangerous. Before he left, he gave a strange warning. "Be sure to lock your door at night." The very next day, Alicia hears that Ricard has fallen ill. A seed of doubt is planted in her mind. A man called a demon, who could fight after being run through with a sword. How could he suddenly get sick? And the servants' attitudes are bizarre. They're not worried at all, and no doctor has been called. With this thought, she asks to see Ricard. To her surprise, Rodri doesn't object at all, even offering to guide her. The path to Ricard's room is eerily empty. She saw no servants, not even a single guard. His face is deathly pale, the picture of illness. His face twitches, his breathing shallow and strained. He looks as if he's drowning. Alicia pulls out a handkerchief, gently dabbing the cold sweat from his forehead. She remembers their first encounter, how he seemed just like this. She mimics her past actions, carefully taking his hand. Could her touch somehow ease his agony? If so, why did he send everyone away? Deep in the night, Ricard stumbles into Alicia's room. He stands over her bed as she stirs, sensing a presence. "Your Grace?" His voice is a broken whisper, almost a plea. "I'm sorry, Alicia. Please." Alicia sits up, startled, as Ricard suddenly clutches her hand. "Please, don't let go." She stares at him, utterly confused. His expression is so vulnerable, as if he might shatter at any moment. In the next instant, he collapses into her arms. She is frozen, whispering his name, but she doesn't pull away. His body is terrifyingly cold. Morning sunlight streams into the room, bathing them in light. Ricard awakens. For the first time in 14 years, the agonizing pain that haunted him is completely gone. He can't recall last night clearly, but the fireplace and their intertwined hands tell him enough. From the moment they met, he knew. He knew that her touch was the only thing that could erase his pain. All this time, he was aware of this truth, and yet he purposefully kept his distance from her. But now, he can no longer fight it. He must accept it. She is his only salvation. With a feather-light touch, Ricard's hand traced her cheek, but as she stirred, he snatched it back, a flicker of panic in his eyes. Soon, Alicia's eyes fluttered open after a restless night. Then she remembered him, and his voice gently reached her from beside the bed. "You can let your guard down for a moment." A rare smile graced Ricard's lips as he looked at her. "Would you like to rest a little longer?" A sliver of worry still lingered in Alicia's heart. "Are you feeling better?" He captured her hand once more. "I should be the one asking you that. Are you unwell?" Alicia let out a soft laugh, assuring him she was fine. Ricard grew quiet, a thoughtful silence, before finally speaking. "I know you must find me incredibly strange right now." Alicia simply shook her head. "Not strange at all, Your Grace. I'm more curious than anything. Can you tell me what's happening to you?" Ricard's eyes darkened. "I can, but you must promise this remains our secret. I don't know why, but I am bound to this place. The moment I step outside of Tessin, I will not survive." The truth struck Alicia like lightning, but Ricard's voice remained unnervingly calm. "Do you recall our first meeting?" It was mild then, but now my annual curse is at its worst. Seeing the worry cloud her face, he offered a reassuring smile. "Don't look so concerned," he murmured. "I believe I've already found the one who can change my fate." Alicia's eyes widened as she asked who it could be, but when Ricard's gaze softened upon her, a shocking realization dawned on her. "Could it be me?" His smile vanished, his tone turning utterly serious. "Much like the deal you once offered me. I need you to accept my request. Whenever I fall ill in Tessin, please, just hold my hand." He paused for a moment. "And I will give you anything you desire, except for the throne. Not that I care for it," he added, "but family conflicts are a nuisance." Alicia found his offer almost comical. He spoke of noble titles as if they were mere pebbles on the roadside. "So if I just hold your hand, you'll grant any wish?" "Of course." "Then I want the sapphire jewelry set from the Lily Jaw Villa." Ricard simply raised an eyebrow. "Is that all?" "In a way, it's already yours. If you want the entire Lily Jaw Villa, I can have the deed transferred immediately." Just as she thought he was agreeing too easily, his tone shifted. "However, I have one more condition." Of course, she knew it wouldn't be quite so simple. "What is it?" "No one can ever know that your touch eases my pain, especially not the Imperial family." "But aren't they your family?" Ricard let go of her hand. "Because if they knew," he said gravely, "you would be the Archduchess of Tessin by morning." Alicia was completely lost by his meaning. He fell into a deep silence before his next words pierced the air. "Alicia, do not marry me." She could only stare, dumbfounded. Just last night, he begged her to stay. Now, he was pushing her away. In truth, Alicia couldn't say she held any deep affection for Ricard yet. It certainly wasn't love at first sight, but his words left the bitter taste of rejection on her tongue. Perhaps she had subconsciously assumed their engagement would lead to an inevitable political marriage. So his firm, yet strangely gentle, refusal stirred a unique kind of irritation within her. But as her emotions churned, news came that Ricard's curse had flared again. She found him curled on his bed, lost in a fever of pain. His gentle eyes, now unfocused, barely registered her. Alicia rushed to his side without a second thought. "I'm sorry I took so long." A wave of guilt washed over her. How could she be angry with a man who was suffering so much? "Why didn't you call for me?" As his vision cleared, he recognized her, and a faint, weak smile appeared for just a moment. "I'm all right." Alicia sighed, her voice softening. "What can I do to help you feel better?" Ricard answered her with a childlike obedience. "Wherever you touch, the pain fades first." Without hesitation, she placed her hand gently on his forehead. As his breathing began to steady, Ricard leaned into her touch. "Just holding hands is enough." Alicia watched him in the quiet stillness. She was discovering that in his moments of weakness, he became incredibly vulnerable, almost needy. He actively reached for her hand. With a pitiful expression, he pleaded with her not to leave. Her heart clenched as if struck by a powerful force. Seeing him so helpless, all her earlier anger simply melted away. She finally understood. As long as she held his hand, the pain receded, but the moment she let go, it would come rushing back. Ricard suddenly whispered, "Why are you looking at me that way?" Alicia spoke her honest thought. "Because you seem pitiful." He didn't seem to mind her blunt, almost insulting words. Instead, his tone was soft, with a hint of playfulness. "Then, would you be willing to stay and keep this pitiful man company?" She realized this vulnerable man was his true self, not the cold demon from the rumors. Just then, Ricard pulled a delicate key from beneath his pillow. Alicia took it, asking what it was for. Ricard explained, "It is the key to the Duchess's chambers." It was a gesture of absolute trust, giving her the full authority of the lady of the house, even before marriage. Ricard simply replied, "I'll be in your care, Alicia." With that, her heart plunged into a complex turmoil. 4 days into their strange life together, Alicia asked, "So the lua lasts for 10 days total?" He murmured his assent, fingers gently weaving her hair. "But Alicia, why ask me to do this?" Alicia ducked her head, explaining it was simply more convenient this way. He silently scoffed. Braiding with one hand each was anything but convenient. But the real issue was bathing. No matter how quick she was, she'd always return to find Ricard in agony. Because of their bond, she couldn't even wash properly. A blush crept up Ricard's face. "I'm sorry. It's my fault." Alicia turned away to explain. "I didn't say it to hear you apologize. Besides, with help from the maids, it's manageable." As he finished the braid, she spoke. "Your Grace, may I ask something?" Ricard listened intently. He prompted her to continue. "The lua lasts 10 days. How did you bear it before, without me?" Alicia glanced up, asking if any medicine helped the pain. Then she saw his free hand drift toward his waist. Her eyes instantly turned to ice. Her hand shot out, stopping the dagger he'd half drawn. In that moment, both of them froze. It was pure instinct. Ricard quickly reassured her, "Don't worry, I'm not attacking you. Don't be afraid." And then, he drove the blade straight into his own hand. But the bloody wound healed in an instant. Alicia stared, utterly thunderstruck. It was a haunting echo of her own time in hell, unable to die. Blind to her shock, Ricard continued, "I just use a greater pain to mask the other." It was then Alicia realized. In all their days together, he hadn't eaten, drank, or even slept properly. How had she missed it? His state was just like hers in hell. "Have you been to hell?" Ricard was clearly stunned by her question. He just stared at her, dazed. Alicia instantly regretted the words, but then he spoke. "Though others call me a demon, you needn't worry. I've never been to hell, and this, it's not contagious." Alicia cut him off abruptly. "Why would you say that?" Ricard's gaze turned impossibly complicated. "Because I don't want that look from you again. That look of pity." In hell, Alicia had never known hunger. It took an entire year for the truth to sink in. She was already dead. Still, she clung to the memory of life, forcing herself to eat. But her body remained unresponsive, digesting nothing. Finally, she surrendered, accepting the cold reality of her death. Ricard's agonized struggle mirrored her own painful past. "You remind me of someone. That's why I feel for you." From then on, Alicia made small requests, like eating together. When he hesitated, she played her card. "Didn't you promise to do anything as long as I held your hand? Or should I demand you marry me right now?" At the word marriage, Ricard shot upright. "I'll eat!" He nervously picked up his spoon. "Your Grace, does eating hurt you?" "No, I'm just right-handed." A smile touched Alicia's lips. "Then sit beside me." Bound together, they gradually found a comfortable rhythm to their lives. Ricard shared stories of his territory and secrets of the imperial family. But with just 2 days left in the curse, an urgent decree from the palace shattered their peace. The emperor wanted his mistress, Lady Ma, to give birth within the palace walls, and her father was Ricard's fiercest political rival. Marquis Manners commanded the late emperor's faction, a powerful opposition. If his daughter bore an heir in the palace, the delicate balance of power would completely shatter. The next morning, Ricard prepared for the capital, but Alicia was right behind him, an innocent smile making him suddenly anxious. Alicia boldly took his hand, using the curse as her reason to go with him. Ricard started to refuse, but a sharp pain lanced through his head. He grit his teeth, enduring it, when suddenly, Alicia wrapped her arms around him tightly. "Better now?" For a second, Ricard froze, then gave a stiff nod. He managed to say he felt much better. Alicia softly caressed his cheek. "I suppose more contact has a stronger effect. It seems my theory was right. For emergencies, we can use this method, despite his protests." And so, Alicia boarded the carriage. In truth, he found it impossible to deny her anything. Just last night, Judith had revealed the true reason for the urgent summons. After years without an heir, the emperor's sudden news of his mistress's pregnancy was causing chaos in the capital. Summoning Ricard was just a way to manage the fallout, to place the blame squarely on his shoulders. So, Alicia offered a new prophecy. "But this is His Majesty's first child. There is no need to crush his joy. Just offer your sincere blessings." The carriage suddenly lurched, and Alicia fell forward. Ricard caught her instantly, hearing her continue. "When the next season turns, His Majesty will welcome his first princess." Alicia waited for his reply, but Ricard only stared, captivated. Only then did they feel their embrace, quickly pulling apart. Their hearts pounded wildly, a blush rising to their cheeks. A few days later, they finally reached the palace. The arrival of Archduke Tessin made the charged atmosphere even heavier. But only Alicia could feel that Ricard was actually in a rather good mood. As an attendant guided them, Alicia said farewell to Ricard, reminding him once more to not forget her words. Inside the meeting hall, a heated debate raged on whether Lady Ma could reside in the palace. Only children born within its walls receive imperial status. Just as the emperor's temper was about to explode, the attendant announced their arrival. "Archduke Tessin is here." Everyone braced for Ricard's firm opposition, as no one cherished imperial order more than he. But the emperor's eyes widened, his gaze fixed on his younger brother's face, his mind reeling with questions. He posed the question first. "Archduke Tessin, what is your view?" Ricard smiled. "Your Majesty, my congratulations on welcoming your first child." Hearing this, the emperor's expression turned to disbelief. Though he had summoned Ricard urgently, he was prepared for his stubborn brother to vote against him. And yet, Ricard didn't just agree. He proposed that Lady Ma enter the palace at once. Maris Manners began to express his excited gratitude, but Ricard silenced him with a raised hand. "I hear the lady is already 8 months pregnant. It is best she enters the palace to rest. An heir will stabilize the empire." Several royals immediately objected, unable to grasp why he had so suddenly changed his stance. Then, Ricard's tone shifted. "Though I am happy for His Majesty's heir, it is an undeniable fact that this first imperial child was conceived outside the palace. If it is a firstborn son, we can discuss his succession later. If it's a firstborn daughter, then her right to the throne must be forfeit." How does that sound? While imperial law doesn't forbid a female heir, no princess has ever ascended the throne in the empire's history. More importantly, Alicia had told him the emperor's first prince would be born to the empress. And at that moment, Alicia stood before the empress's portrait, Eleanor, the most beautiful woman in the entire empire. She possessed not only a breathtaking beauty, but a melodic voice as well. The world had praised her as the beautiful sea fairy. The emperor was once her most passionate suitor, but their celebrated love story lasted only 9 years. "Lady Alicia." She turned at the sound of an attendant, bowing. "Her Majesty summons you." Even with her husband's affair known, the empress kept a dignified smile. However, Alicia saw right through that fragile mask. The emperor eventually took Maris Manners' daughter as a concubine, though he already possessed a harem. In truth, his ministers had forced him to take them for the sake of succession. He had never once visited their palaces, Everyone knew how deeply the emperor treasured the empress. Unfortunately, they remained childless until this scandal erupted 10 days ago. Eleanor had long feared this day would come. It was why, when he was still crown prince, she refused him for 4 long years, and why 9 years of marriage remained fruitless. She knew he would eventually take other women for an heir. Tears filled her eyes. Helplessness and rage burned in her heart, escaping in a low growl. For the first time, this empress who embodied perfection let her pain show before her husband. How could he do this to me? Alicia gently took her trembling hand. Please, accept this. Eleanor looked down with a confused expression. Candy? Yes. When you feel troubled, eating one can help soothe your heart. Eleanor actually listened and ate the candy. The unexpected sweetness helped her regain her composure. Lady Alicia, what is your real reason for being here? Alicia knew that while the future held troubles, the crown prince would be born to the empress, but Eleanor would eventually suffer from severe psychological distress, disappearing from public life almost entirely. Alicia could not bear to watch her crumble like that. In my past, my own pride caused me great pain. I thought I had no one to turn to, and so I hid myself away. But that became my deepest regret. If only I had taken that first step, I wouldn't have lost their warmth. Eleanor thought Alicia meant well, but her next words were a sharp sting. So, please, try to be honest with His Majesty. Humiliation burned in her heart. Alicia, has your pride ever been so shattered you wish to die? I know the Empress's dignity is vital, but before His Majesty, I hope you can reveal your true heart. If he cannot see your hardship, he will only hesitate, and you are still so beautiful. Even in tears, you are as lovely as a sea fairy. You want me to cry before him? Yes. His Majesty will surely understand. I guarantee his heart will break for you. Your Majesty, these trials will eventually pass. Please take care. I will visit you again soon. Alicia left the Empress's palace, her face unreadable. The rift between them had formed. The past was set in stone. All she could do was guide them toward reconciliation. Besides, it wasn't uncommon for nobles to have mistresses. Easing Eleanor's pain, even slightly, was worth it. If she hadn't returned to 17, she might already be engaged to Gregory just before his scandal broke. Alicia sighed softly. Ricard's words echoed in her mind. Don't marry me. Could he have another lover? Just then, a familiar voice drifted from behind her. Who says I have another lover? Alicia turned to see Ricard himself. He had come to find her the moment his meeting was over. A faint blush touched her cheeks, not expecting him to overhear. But she also felt a wave of relief. He had no so-called lover. Ricard asked after the Empress. Alicia sighed lightly. She truly possesses both elegance and intellect. Hearing Ricard ask if she would visit the concubine now, Alicia was puzzled. Why would I ever go there? If you only visit the Empress, people may find it peculiar. A cunning smile touched Alicia's lips. I have no need to form a bond with a concubine. Seeing her unshakable confidence, Ricard found himself smiling too. The next moment, noticing the chill, he draped his own coat over her. At that very moment, the Emperor was beginning to have suspicions about Alicia. His wife and brother's actions felt so different lately, and the only new variable in this time was Alicia. Are you two some kind of fraud couple? Ricard calmly lifted his teacup, stating flatly, I am not married. The Emperor shot back, but you have a fiancé. An engagement is not a marriage. Suddenly, the Emperor sighed. Your fiancé visits the Empress every day. Eleanor seems quite taken with. Her. It is all too strange. I heard she just gave Eleanor some candy. Ricard simply asked if that was a problem. The truth was, the Emperor felt he was going mad. Everything lately seemed so odd. After all, his little brother, who was always so principled, had suddenly become smooth and worldly. The Emperor was certain his fiancée was the one who changed him. On the surface, Alicia seemed an ordinary noble lady, but her attitude toward the Empress and concubine was unlike anyone else's. The Emperor decided he must find a time to meet her alone. At this time, Alicia learned that rumors targeting her were sweeping through the capital's social circles. Whispers claimed the future Archduchess was arrogant, willful, and spoke with a malicious tongue. Judith's investigation revealed the source. The concubine's sister, Viviana, of Maris Manor. Alicia had been learning embroidery, but she clearly lacked talent. These rumors only fueled her growing frustration. Honestly, this is truly irritating. She felt it was time to give Viviana a proper warning. Judith, send Viviana a bouquet in my name. White calla lilies, a flower for blessings, used at weddings, and a flower of mourning, used for coffins at funerals. It symbolizes both a beginning and an end. Receiving the flowers, Viviana smashed them in a rage. How dare a woman from the north insult me so crudely? The rumors about Alicia only intensified. Wherever she went, she was met with strange, piercing stares. Though she feigned indifference, the constant whispers were a buzzing irritation deep inside her. Suddenly, a faint sob came from nearby. Alicia peaked with curiosity. She could just make out a tearful voice. I truly wanted to get along with her, but she refuses to even look at me. Wait, it was that person talking about her? The attendant leading the way shot her a nervous look. Only then did Alicia realize she was the subject of the gossip. As the voice rambled on, she knew. It was undoubtedly Viviana. All this because she hadn't visited the concubine, how they clung to her. She refused to be drawn in and simply turned to leave. Confronting them would only prove she was just as foolish. But just as she turned, Viviana hurled another baseless accusation. Alicia fought back a murderous urge. This wasn't hell. She had to stay calm. But Viviana's next words ignited a fire in her soul. She stopped me and slapped me with all her might. A loud crash echoed. The wall cracked. So much for patience. To hell with it. She wouldn't kill, but a lesson was due. Alicia's chilling voice cut through. You said I hit you hard? Viviana, feigning tears, spun around in panic. But seeing Alicia, her face twisted into a scornful smirk. I don't know what this lady is talking about. The next second, a crisp slap from Alicia silenced her. Viviana collapsed to the ground. I normally loathe this sort of nonsense, but the lies I just heard were utterly laughable. Oh, by the way, that was less than 10% of my strength. Get up, Lady Viviana. This time, I'll use my full strength. But Viviana was already unconscious from her casual strike, and this entire exchange was witnessed by the Emperor. Already wary of Alicia, he decided to personally intervene. Upon waking, Viviana wept endlessly, glaring daggers at Alicia. Soon, Maris Manners arrived. Alicia's father came next. Without a single glance at his daughter, he sat right beside Maris Manners. Just then, the door flew open. Hurried, flustered footsteps grew louder. Ricard had arrived, breathless. Before Alicia could speak, he grabbed her. Alicia, did you kill someone? She was instantly rendered speechless. Hearing her denial, Ricard's tense shoulders relaxed a bit. If they're not dead, did you injure them badly? Does the person still look human? His words grew more ridiculous. Alicia abruptly cut him off. The entire mood of the room had shifted. They were stunned. Archduke Tessin, who crushed skulls on the battlefield, was describing his own fiancée as something terrifying. Ricard, completely unaware of their shock, told Alicia, there must be some misunderstanding here. After all, if you truly hit someone, not even a body would remain. Alicia was on the verge of going mad. She was sure he was only here to cause trouble. Just then, the Emperor spoke. Archduke Tessin, the victim is not badly hurt. Please be seated. With all parties present, the Emperor formally began his inquiry. The maid who led the way recounted the event. Lady Alicia said she only used 10% of her strength, and yet Lady Viviana fainted instantly. The situation looked very bleak for Alicia. After all, Viviana only spread rumors, while Alicia had struck someone in public. She had to prove Viviana started it all. After living with Ricard for so long, she'd almost forgotten how fragile nobles could be. Ricard felt her gaze, and a strange chill crept over him. The Emperor quietly observed their silent exchange. His younger brother, ever serious and humorless, never spoke rashly. To see him this panicked was truly amusing. Lady Alicia, do you have a defense? Just as she was about to speak, the door opened again. It was the Empress. The Emperor took her hand. When things like this happen in the palace, it is right for the Empress to preside. I have entrusted her with a joint investigation. Viviana's heart sank. She was absolutely doomed. She then heard the Empress sternly scold Alicia. To use violence in the palace is a shameful disgrace. I refuse to hear any excuses. At these words, Viviana felt a surge of triumph. She had thought Alicia and the Empress were close. It seems even the Empress wouldn't dare offend her own sister, once her sister delivered an heir. But as she celebrated inwardly, the Empress's tone suddenly shifted. Of course, that's not to say Viviana is blameless. With the concubine about to give birth, you, her sister, have caused such a mess. Viviana immediately played the victim. Your Majesty, I've been so wronged. Lady Alicia not only ignored me, she struck me repeatedly. Then state where these incidents occurred. Viviana seemed to have been waiting for this. Of course. The first time was in the morning, as I walked to the eastern garden. Lady Alicia blocked my path and struck me without cause. But the Empress immediately dismantled her lie. In fact, I have already investigated. You merely passed each other. The gardeners and maids all gave identical testimony. Viviana panicked, claiming she misremembered. The Empress continued, You say Lady Alicia slapped you with full force? Yes, it was agonizing. The doctor even said I almost went blind. The Empress's voice remained gentle. A silken trap. I see. If it is that grave, let us summon your physician. Viviana was speechless. What doctor? My maids can testify for me. Why trouble the doctor? But the Empress cut her off with chilling finality. Does this doctor of yours truly exist? Maris Manners sensed the tide turning, but it was too late to stop his foolish daughter. Viviana's face twisted in outrage. This is unfair. Why am I the only one being judged? Everyone sees Alicia at your palace every day. You have been biased toward her from the very start. A smile still touched the Empress's lips, but her voice was laced with ice. Lady Viviana, are you accusing me? Or the law of the Empire itself? Maris Manners leaped to shield his daughter. Your Majesty, forgive her. She is ignorant of the ways of the palace. The Emperor's voice cut in, dripping with amusement. She has lived here for so long, yet remains ignorant. What a truly pitiful excuse, Maris Manners. Your daughter's story has changed countless times. Besides her servants, there are no witnesses, no evidence. Yet she still insists Lady Alicia struck her. In that case, there is only one way to find the truth. We all heard Lady Alicia admit to using only 10% of her power, while your daughter claims she used her full strength. Then let Lady Alicia strike her once more, with everything she has. Let us see what happens. Only then did the Marquis realize he had provoked a true monster. Even Archduke Tessin once said of his fiancée that if she truly strikes, her opponent cannot possibly survive. How could he let his daughter face that wrath? He grabbed Viviana, hissing for her to apologize immediately. But more terrifying than the lie being exposed was the Emperor's cold judgment. From this day, until the concubine gives birth, all members of the Maris Manners family are forbidden from the rear palace. Viviana shrieked in defiance. But I am the child's aunt! My sister will worry if I suddenly vanish! The Emperor's eyes narrowed. Enough! Are you threatening me? That the concubine's health depends on you? From this moment on, without my permission, Viviana is forbidden from attending any public function. The Emperor dismissed them all, save for Ricard and Alicia. The coldness around him instantly melted away. He was like a different person, his voice soft. I hope for your wedding to be soon. That is my sincere wish. At his words, Ricard's face turned to stone. He quickly led Alicia away from the throne room. From now on, do not visit the Empress's palace. His Majesty's eyes are on you. Seeing Alicia's confusion, Ricard explained in a low voice that the Emperor is deeply paranoid of anyone with power. Just then, a voice called out to them. It was Alicia's father, Maurice René. Her luck today was truly abysmal, but the harsh rebuke she expected never came. Instead, her father bowed his head apologetically to Ricard. I apologize, Your Grace, for the trouble my daughter has caused. He then turned, urging Alicia to offer her own apology. Alicia found it utterly bizarre. Not long ago, they had been locked in a bitter fight. Now he was playing the devoted father. She turned to Ricard. I am sorry for the inconvenience I caused you, Your Grace. After Ricard brushed it off, Alicia immediately faced her father. Is there anything else? Her message was clear. If not, please leave. Maris René seemed possessed. I just wanted to say you handled yourself well. But that family has deep connections. You nearly fell into a terrible trap today. She has many allies, and you have none. With only words, it would have been impossible to prove your innocence. Alicia could not begin to understand him and made an excuse to leave. At the carriage, Ricard carefully extended his hand. This time, Alicia finally accepted it, and he felt a strange sense of relief. But as he stepped inside, the curse suddenly flared. Alicia instantly ripped off her glove and clasped his hand in hers. "Does it hurt terribly?" Ricard shook his head. "Not really. I was just worried my fiancé had committed murder." The emotional surge made the voices in my head louder. Alicia fell silent, looking away with a guilty blush. Doubt filled her mind. The Emperor must have known about his condition. Why summon him so urgently? Ricard's voice suddenly softened. "It's fine now. As long as you are near, I feel I can endure anything. But, is it true you have no friends?" His pitying gaze made Alicia feel a bit annoyed. Still, she thought about it. Daisy and Judith didn't count as friends. Neither did those she met in hell. The chimera was more like her pet. After sifting through her memories, she found she truly could not name a single person she would call a friend. "I have no need for friends. To be alone is human nature." "No, Alicia. Humans cannot live without friends," Ricard insisted. Before his reign ended, he'd wished for her to find more friends. That look was the same one Ricard wore now. Alicia bit back her fury, explaining, "If one is strong enough, they don't need allies. Your Grace should know that best. But I have friends, even with countless enemies." His words struck a nerve. Alicia fought the urge to throw this infuriating man from the carriage. A few days later, a fragile peace settled over the capital's social scene.